The Super Eagles begin their quest for a fourth title at the Africa Cup of Nations against Equatorial Guinea on January the 14th. The Alassane Ouattara Olympic Stadium in Abidjan is the venue for the game, and expectations are high ahead of the encounter.
Guinea Equatorial was indeed better than us. Last AFCON is a good team, but you want to win. You want to win. For that, you want to put the focus 100%. Everybody, not only the training, in the meals, in the rest, in the meetings, all the activity. This match, the next match, you cannot commit mistakes. You cannot put 100% or more than each one, and do a collective game for win the first match. It's important for us. Now we need only about the first match.
I'm having the vibe of 2013, where everybody were kind of skeptical, but the team gathered themselves together and went and won the Nations Cup. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Injuries to Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Boniface and Sadiq Umar raise concerns over the chances of the Super Eagles.
Coaching has been very, very abysmal over the last couple of months. Nothing to write home about. A situation where the coach is sticking out his neck for a keeper that's consistently below performance expectations. I don't see how he can make the proper decision with other players if he cannot make the proper decision with the goalkeeper, which is a very critical department in the whole structure of the team.
Honestly speaking, we need to work very, very hard because we have the players. There's a lot of work talking about the goalkeeping and everything. The Super Eagles, we are not lacking any goalkeeping issue. The problem that we have in Nigerian Super Eagles, that the coach refused to stay in Nigeria, to live in Nigeria, to see the players coming up.
Surely, the opening game against Equatorial Guinea will be a litmus test for the three-time African champions.
Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. To be or not to be. Somebody said that some years back. To be or not to be. That is the question. But what is the answer is what we are seeking to have as we start that quest for our fourth title. They say, look, we have to do it again. And then because it is those who have done it before they can do it again. And then if you look at our pedigree in Africa, 3 is just too paltry. 3. No. Cameroon, Ghana. We debuted with Ghana at the same time, 1963. Cameroon didn't win their first one until they beat us in 1984. And I tell you this, but here they are on 5th. But I don't want to talk about the back-to-back team, Egypt, that has surpassed everybody with 7 titles. But Nigeria, we take on Equatorial Guinea. We told you that we have 2 Guineas. We have Equatorial Guinea, we have Guinea-Bissau. And then there is a 3rd Guinea, I suppose the original Guinea that is in our group. But we played them, they were the people who played last year. We played them this Monday, and then the result, it was a friendly anyway. Like I said, Paul, it was a friendly result. So today we take on Equatorial Guinea. The guys, we've played 97. We played 97 games already in the tournament, in our history in the tournament. 53 wins, 22 losses. So we don't want that. 22 should remain where they are. The 53 should go to 54. And that's what I expect. The Ivorians yesterday played. They played Guinea-Bissau, and it was their 100th game in the tournament, and it was Guinea-Bissau's 10th. Well, we get all that. It is AFCON. Australian Open has also kicked off. And yes, that is basically what we are talking today. We are talking this and we are talking that. Football and tennis. My guys are in the house, no time to waste. I always say it here. Ladies first, after men. None of you crucify me. Jimmy!
Thankfully, the men will do us proud. If you had gone to Cecilia, probably she'll be less positive. But I'm positive. Let's go out there for a win.
The probability. Catalan.
I was very optimistic last week. But this week, not so much. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the optimism has traveled. The optimism is not there. Okay, let's see. Theo just talked about that, he was afraid, or he's afraid, or he doesn't know what is going to happen. He doesn't have to make his mind. Jimmy said, talked about probability. But then you don't bump somebody's head. But the person is here. So, Sisi, the creamy one is in the house. Sisi,
okay.
Do you have confidence in the men?
Yes,
in the men?
The confidence is actually back because when I spoke with Oliseh on Friday night, when he talked about the kind of players that we have, I felt, okay, fine. If we have these players and if we do the right thing, we can actually win it. So the players that are coming in, because the confidence was going down when the injuries, 3 were piling up. But the replacement are players we can easily look at and say, these players are
almost like for like.
Yeah, like for like, and these players are good. So if the coach understands his team and he knows what to play at a particular time, I think, the confidence is back actually, so it's not so bad.
Okay, let me come back to you. If you're not, yesterday, you watch the game?
I saw the game.
Okay.
Typical of an opener, I saw 2 beautifully taken goals. Although the only downside for me was I think they were able to fill up the stadium, a 60,000 capacity stadium, about 33 or 34,000 people. 36 in the stadium. So, but other than that, it was actually a nice game. I saw the dignitaries seated there, but I saw the kind of football that the Ivorians, I beg your pardon, put on display yesterday. That was what made me. Because I looked at Nigeria, I've seen our last couple of games, and I have not been impressed. And I'm only hoping, like Sisi rightly put it, if the coach can put his team together and get them on the pitch to play football the way we know they know how to play, just maybe we can get something out of it.
Jimmy, does the coach
but if not, we'll be messed up.
Does he know his first 11?
He actually does. He's been very predictable. He does know his first 11. He's been very predictable. You actually can say, okay, he's probably going to start, Semi Ajayi and Calvin Bassey at the central defense. You probably look at the 3 and the 2.
Who pairs Ajayi?
Now the question is
central defense.
I like that question. Okay. Now you've seen in the past 4 games, he's been using Ajayi and Calvin Bassey, and that's down to the fact that we don't have the Oyinbo wall that we used to have. Those days we used to rely on Leon Balogun and also ever since Leon Balogun seemed to have had problems with the NFF, where he talked about, and also injury worries, he had not really been a staple in that team. Troost-Ekong losing form, getting back into form, not back in reckoning. You see clearly that Calvin Bassey and Semi Ajayi had been the 2 central backs that we had been using. So the question now is, how reliable will they be coming up against stiff opposition? I would say that most of the complaints that we had about goalkeeping didn't really have to do with our central backs or even our defense line. It had more to do with our paucity in the midfield. If you don't have a good midfield to shield the defense, what happens?
All right. Okay. Let's now.
That's another leader.
I know. But then I'm being told that it is time for us to look at, to look at the big picture of what it is. So without much ado, let's go right there. We're not going to London. We're going right to Belgium. We call him Skippo, and then Nigeria has won this trophy 3 times. So 1980. 1994, 19 years after. Okay, and then 2013. Okay, it was that was 19. 1980 to 1990, were 14 years.
14 years.
14 years.
Yes.
Then after that, 19 years.
Exactly. From 80 to 94, 94 to 20.
Yeah, so the first one, there was a 14 years hiatus.
And 19.
The next one is 19.
That's why you have your 19 now. Sunday. Have you forgotten?
Okay, without much to do. And then we will say, well, in this instance, if we're trying to look at something different, normally what we do on this show is quite different from, Erati. We look at, what the positives are, what are the intrinsic things that people don't see outside, not just what you see on the pitch. So today we are looking at leadership And we're not just looking at leadership, we're looking at what is the role of a captain. That if we name, Ahmed Musa is the captain of the team. I mean, there'll be some hula baloo. So we say, look, why are you bringing in? Why you not bringing in? The coach said, I want him. Sometimes you will see managers that say, look, I want him in the team because of the leadership qualities, because he need to inspire the younger ones. It's not just because of how much minutes he wants to play. People have looked at maybe Keshi playing a big part role, right? They won in '94. People have looked at Yobo playing a big part role, won in 2013. And people have said, look, so how are these? But beyond all this, what is the role of a captain in a tournament like this? And then who else to ask than the man who said malaria is nothing, let me go and do it when we did this tournament in 2000. He was the captain. He did malaria. He said look, all those doctors, forget it. I must go and save my country. He came in and he threw that past over. And then that was how we got out of the clutches of Senegal, those Senegalese. Let's meet Sunday Ogochukwu Oliseh. Let us go over there to Belgium. So if Sonny is ready, Skippo, we call him, the former captain of the national team, former manager of the national team. I mean, anything you want to talk about there. But then he played, he was a captain, the captain Dimo and a captain. So Sonny, how are you?
Well, I'm fine. Good morning to everybody.
Sonny, we don't enter afternoon. Yes, we are in the afternoon. We are in the afternoon now. We are a bit ahead. We are a bit ahead. Sonny, when you enter the national team, it's not only that we train question. There is a full house. Jimmy's here. The Catalan is there too. Sisi is here. You are familiar with everybody. So this is your home. And we'll just be capturing you throughout this tournament. But then let's start with this. When you entered into the national team, when you enter into the national team, you have that odd. How did you feel when you came in contact with the captains for the first time, the captain of the team, the big boss himself? How was it like as a young man coming into the team? And what do you think were his leadership styles?
Well, good afternoon to everybody. Cecilia, I spoke to you some days ago. That was nice working together. Personally, when I came into, Stephen Keshi was the captain at the time, and he's a personality, and he's got charisma also, but at the same time also he has his own way of working out things. It's always impressive because you feel immediately when you come into the team that there is a hierarchy, there is a way that things have to be done. You have to know your place, and just like in the typical African family style, so.
Okay. Okay. But let us now go to what I asked you earlier. If my guests also have questions, they will ask you. The role of a captain in the tournament, apart from just being the captain of the team in other matches, but when you now go into a tournament where you camp for 2 weeks, you come into the camp and you're going to stay there, does the captain have a significant role to play? And then does that have any influence in the outcome of what is, of the team, what are the outcome of the results that the team is supposed to achieve during the tournament?
Well, to start with, let's be very clear from the beginning. Being a captain for other countries or other club sides is a total different scenario as being the captain of the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles is special. It's complicated. You have more to do, and a lot is thrust on you from the technical coaching coach. You are kind of like in between the players, the coaches, and also the federation itself. The captain's role is very, very important. In fact, if you don't have a solid captain network in Nigeria, you can succeed. Because there are so many things that it's on a daily basis. In fact, you must have a very strong personality, otherwise you can't cope with being a captain and also bringing out your own personal performance also, because it's a 24-hour job. So it's like that. Okay,
so you came in and you met the charismatic Stephen Okechukwu Keshi, and then you moved down into Uche Okechukwu, and then it came to Sunday Ogochukwu Oliseh. Was there anybody between you and Uche? I think you succeeded Uche. Was there any captain between you and?
No, I took over from Uche because initially it was supposed to be Daniel Amokachi was supposed to become the next.
Okay.
Daniel. But unfortunately, when we went into camp for 2000, Daniel was injured. Okay. And it was obvious he was not going to be part of the team. And then I was called upon by the federation and the coaching crew, and they said, listen, we want you to be the captain. Initially, I refused because I like doing my thing and going to my room, But they felt that if I didn't do it, we were going to struggle. because they needed somebody they knew was going to play, someone who was respected by all the players, and someone that, could be a bridge between, and they also felt I had a lot of respect from the federation itself. So especially having done what I did to get Nigeria to qualify for 98 World Cup. So I think that kind of like made it, I accepted to serve my country on that basis. But I had to bring in my own style because I'm a different personality, I'm a different person. And I was at a different level of when you come to the club side football at the time. So that made it easier for me.
Okay, that is probably my impression of this is wrong, because I've always had this impression before that it was the players who asked for you to be the captain. But you are saying it's the federation. I thought it was the players who, nominated you.
The players also wanted me to be captain, but the thing there was that if the coach doesn't want you to be captain, you can't captain.
Okay.
So it's at the end of the day, even if, because before they come to you, they've spoken to players also. So it's like that. But what I'm just trying to point out is that in every hierarchy of this, if the coaches don't want you to be captain, Bonfrejo was the coach then, you're going to pick somebody who's going to be captain that is somebody that you're sure is going to play almost all matches.
Okay.
You can't pick a player you think is going to be on the bench and you say, okay, the players want him to be captain, but if the coach wants him to sit on the bench, it's difficult captaining from the bench, I feel so.
Okay, it's difficult captain from the bench. But so when we won it in '94, the captain was on the bench. The big boss was on the bench.
Listen, that's why I said the personality.
Okay.
Look, the mistake we make back home in Nigeria is that sometimes we compare people with legends. You cannot. Steph had a way of handling things. And the thing there was that he had his own generals all around him that, and he had the way he was running things. And Keshi was very smart. There were certain things that Keshi would stay away from, and there are certain things that he would be dominant. Like the role Keshi played that I felt was really, really instrumental to us being great was Keshi does not accept indiscipline in the team. In fact, he's more the one fighting it more than the coaches. For example, I'm not going to give you a name, but there was a day we were about to have a meeting. One player came into the meeting with a face cap on. Before the coach said, Keshi told him, man, take off your face cap. He said, well, for Europe, they wear face cap. Keshi told him, hey, take off this face cap now. The player thought he was joking. And it brought up into an argument. And unfortunately for the player, he didn't play 1 more minute till the tournament ended. So it's, you have to respect the hierarchy, and we all followed it, and it made us successful.
Okay, Sisi, final question.
I love the fact that he talked about personality, and that's actually what we've not seen with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, this current crop right now. You hardly see that presence. Someone, after Mikel left, I've not been able to see someone who can actually instill that discipline you just talked about. We've seen players coming into camp like a day before games, and then they still get to lace up and they play. Is there something we can really do differently? Maybe that leadership, that hunger, the vibe for it to come back? Because I can't really see it, honestly, in the few games I've watched build up to this Nations Cup.
Cecilia, I think even you will agree with me that respect is not something you force on people, it's something you earn. And if your teammates are going to respect you, it's going to be based on the way you behave, the level you've reached, especially at your club side level, and what they know you can bring to them as a leader. Otherwise, you will not let somebody to lead you if you know that the person cannot bring you results. Personalities at the moment, I think we are struggling with it based also on where most of our players are playing. At the time we had players who were playing week in, week out in the Champions League and at the top and playing for titles in major leagues in Europe. I was trying to be champion in Holland or in Germany or in Italy at the time with the top clubs. Taribo was trying to be the champion in Italy. We had also people like, we had, players all trying to be, so we have personalities. So you have leaders. And there is one thing that I feel that we are lacking maybe a bit now in politics, that in those days when the Super Eagles were really called the Super, with all the results we did, every player in the team could win matches for you. That means that even if you're struggling, even Benny Roa, our left back, against Cote d'Ivoire came up and helped us win the game against Cote d'Ivoire from the back. Uche Okechukwu, the final. So, these are things that you have to have that to have personalities. You can't force people to be head of somebody.
Okay. Before we go to Jimmy and you to ask your questions, I want to ask you a two-barrel questions. We're playing Cote d'Ivoire. What are your experiences in playing Cote d'Ivoire? And then you've not told us about the leadership style of Uche Okechukwu, and if you got anything from both Keshi and Uche in being what you became when you were the captain.
Well, playing Cote d'Ivoire, the reality is that Cote d'Ivoire is a team. I watched the game yesterday, and I must say that a mature team. Don't take them for granted. They handled that game very well tactically yesterday. Rushed, got the first goal, and tried to manage and got the second goal. So it's a very solid team, and it's players that have not got European experience. So playing them, one would really have to approach it in a way that I don't know if they will play us the same way they did yesterday, because yesterday they were a bit open at times. Would they have a closed circuit game where they will close all the corners in the midfield, all the sections? I don't know if they will do that against us. It depends on how they see themselves. If they see themselves as being superior to us, they might come up with a fight. But if they feel that, okay, let's deceive Nigerians, we want to call them out, they might close the circuit and try to bring us out of our shell. So that is how I think now if we're going to play them, we also have to react. First of all, look at what happens in the first 15 minutes, how it's going to be. Now, when you're talking about learning from captains, I think the captain, in the Super Eagles, the captain I learned things from was just Stephen Keshi. There was nobody else I looked at, because Kesh took me like a younger brother, and he was always like talking to me a lot. And don't forget, he was the assistant coach when I became captain. So he was always like, always beside me, telling me, no, it's funny that he's good, things like that. And I really loved the man, because he was a special person too. So I learned a lot more from him, and I also mixed a lot with what I had learned from all the captains I had at Ajax, Juventus, and Dortmund, and I picked them all together to make my own person also, my own touch. So it's all like that.
Oh, he's a legend now. You don't get choice. He's a legend. So, all the way they talk, you don't get choice. Okay, Keshi took you like his younger one. Before we go to Jimmy, I will ask a question. Jimmy will also ask you. I mean, you take the two answers at the same time before we come to this. When you were the captain, how many of the younger ones? I know of your relationship with Ikpeba. I know of your relationship with Tijani Babangida. How many did you take under your wing? When they were newly brought into the team while you were the captain. Before you answer that, Jimmy also has a question.
Okay, Skipo. We've seen clearly that there had been lack of that visible football pattern when we do play games for quite some time now. So if you were to advise the Federation, how exactly would you advise them in entrenching a football philosophy? How exactly do you think that we can go around this so that at least we can have a football philosophy for Nigerian football, a proper one?
The Federation does not set up the philosophy of a team. The philosophy of a team is based on the quality of the players you have, the coach that is going to handle it, and the objectives that you want to achieve. If your objective is to really win titles, okay, your philosophy might be one that is more containing based on the players you have. Then you adapt it to it. But if so that philosophy, the lacking that we're having, it has a lot to do with the fact that we are not stable when it comes to the management of the national team, of the Super Eagles. That's been the problem that has been going on. And one of the biggest problems we have back in Nigeria now, and that's something that I could not condone when I was coaching the Super Eagles. I don't believe in anything else than the performance principle to choose a team. If you're not good enough, you don't play. You're not going to play because of the fact that you are a friend to this, you're this. No. If you're not good enough, you don't play. If your own base is playing better than you, he will play because he's a Nigerian at the end of the day. So it's a way to when you keep people on their toes and they know that, look, I might be a big name, but if I don't play, coach will take me out. Or if the coach doesn't say I'm giving up my all, somebody else might take my place. Then you don't have the performance principle. And then you will now be You will now be choosing your team, or your philosophy will be based on favoritism or who knows who. And then you don't win titles. And then you're not great. So it just adds up. Nobody's going to give you games. You have to win them. And you were asking me a question, Ken. I can't remember. You asked me one.
Many players, your mentor, who came in when you were the captain, can you remember? I know, like I said, I know of your relationship with Ikpeba at club level and on a national team too. I know of your relationship with Tijani Babangida. But when you were the captain of the Super Eagles, were there new players that came into the team, and how did you mentor? How did you take them under your wings? The way the big boss, the legend, took you under his wings when you were first invited in 1993?
Well, as regards friendship, I wasn't I wouldn't call myself a close friend to Victor, but we weren't really friends. We were teammates who had a background together. I was more friendly with people like
Tijani.
Personal friendship with Tijani Babangida. Tijani is he's like a brother to me. I was Finidi George. We had a good relationship with Finidi. Emmanuel Aminike. We had a group we used to do things together and talk together. But taking people under the wings, it's my style is like this. I keep to myself a lot. I'm not the type. I don't go partying with other people except for close friends. And so what I do is that I do my job. And at the time, I was open to everybody. And in fact, all the home base, when they came in or things like that, they always came close to me, and I always took them under my wings because they needed more help than the established players coming from abroad. And at the same time also, I had also the senior players that I consulted. Each time the federation brought something to me or the coach brought something to me, there were like 5, 6 of them. And I would just go to them and say, look, guys, this is what's happening. What do you think? And then maybe find a way to leak it down to the younger ones. And then they will now, or the other less bigger players, and they will now tell me what they felt about it. And then based on that, I would then give it back to the federation that this is what the team has decided, and that is how I see it.
Okay, we have the Catalan in the house. We'll call him the Catalan. He's the baby of the house, Theo. Theo, okay, fire.
All right, so people are going to ask, okay, in 2010, Spain went on to win the World Cup, but they suffered a defeat in their first game.
Yes.
The same thing happened with Argentina at this last World Cup. Obviously, he was there because of his role with study group. Now, I'm going back to 2013 now. So our first 2 games, I think I was against Ethiopia, against Burkina Faso, and I think Zambia. We drew those games after we had taken the lead early. Now, I'm not just the only one. A lot of Nigerians share this pessimism because with the last couple of games the Super Eagles team have played, they've struggled. A game that we should normally go on to win, we found a way to just bottle it. If we go on to, let's say, our first game, we don't win it. If you were the captain, what would have been your battle cry? How would you have been able to rally these boys? Because like we see clearly stated, it seems like we are lacking leadership within the team. What would have been your own battle cry to rally these players to go on and make the country proud?
It would never have happened. Those draws will never have happened. You can ask my colleagues. Of course, you have the cowards who like to talk on the back and say what they want to say. But if you speak to my ex-colleagues, they will tell you that Sunday will never allow any player to come late to camp. So and those things are affecting this team now. When I watch, I follow the team a lot. It's my homeland. It's my country. I love it. I don't have any other place that I can love more than my country. And so I follow the team a lot. And sometimes I see when they say players are here to report to camp 2-3 days to a game. Look, when you're in Europe, the temperature is less. It's not as warm as it is in Africa. You need to be and the club releases you 5 days before the game. So where are you? You have to be in camp. So if you don't come to camp, there is no way you can have a solid team if players are not committed. The national team, you are serving 220 million people. It's no joke. So if you don't want to play, don't. People are dying for it. People are dying to wear the national colors. So things like that, as a captain, it will never happen. I will never accept it. Keshi will never accept it. So those are things, and you can see the trajectory. I will tell you a story. When we in 1990 qualified for the 2002 World Cup, we started badly. There was a big fight between the federation and Coach Bonfredo. There was disarray everywhere, And as a captain, I didn't want to go into the history books as the first captain to not qualify Nigeria for the World Cup. So what I did was that I summoned all the players. I was calling the players days before the games in Europe to say, guys, when are you landing camp? And if we had a game, if we're supposed to be in camp on Monday, I was already on Sunday in camp. So the players saw that I was always there before everybody. So everybody was always coming on time. People were not risking it. And we're able to turn a 5-point deficit behind Liberia to qualify at the end of the day. After the coach was put out, and after the legendary Stevie Keshi, and may so rest in peace, Coach Schwabu, and may so rest in peace also, Coach Joseph Errico, after these three took the team together, and four of us were always communicating, that kind of thing. So I knew before everybody who was going to be invited, and so that attitude and that mentality, it filters down to the team. If they see that you and the coaches are all solid, always on time and everything like that, the team also followed, and we qualified for 2002 World Cup, which became the third consecutive World Cup I helped Nigeria qualify for. So you see, don't deceive yourself. If you don't work, you lose. It's simple.
Okay, if you don't work, you don't eat. That's life is done. Forget it. So, Sonny, we are going on a short break. You'll be with us till the end of the show, and you are not going anywhere. I know. If I talk, you say they have you. The weather, you just said it. Your weather and our weather is not the same. So you are not strolling out much this time around. So we're going to go on a short break. I will also have somebody to join us, and when we come back, to State Channel Sport on Sunday.
Substitute with the captain's armband on, lays it back and ball into the near post, tucked into the net by Terry Murphy. And that is 6-0 and a second goal of the afternoon for the Lorient striker. Nigeria showcasing their attacking strength. Oliseh is in again. Oliseh for his hat-trick this time, surely. It's 8-0. He's had an outstanding afternoon, Victor Osimhen. Ahmed Musa playing it through for Osimhen. A terrific ball brought down by Osimhen, and a really cool finish. A fourth goal for him and a ninth for the Super Eagles. Well, they've got 4 goals in the whole of the World Cup qualifying campaign. He's already on to 5 in this AFCON qualifying campaign.
Osimhen behind, and Osimhen with a chance, a sight of goal, and he doesn't waste any time, no messing around. The competitions, or the qualifying competitions, joint top scorer is now the outright top scorer with 6 goals. Still it's Nigeria who are coming forward. There's an excellent mark from Zanuti. He's got men in the middle if he can find them. Can he feel it? He has! And that is in Nigeria. And Guinea-Bissau, who just were one of the minnows of African football for years.
Yeah, you're welcome back. It's the Channel Spot on Sunday. And Okmeye Miajala, he's in the house. He's, what are we leaking secrets? All these two. Hello, Okmeye, how are you?
It's nice being here, Ken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to Abidjan?
The Eagles will not be without support in Abidjan. If support is oxygen, I think they have it in abundance. There is a community in Osun State which this Ejigbo in Lagos is named after Ejigbo.
Yeah.
The indigenous of Ejigbo in Ejigbo are lesser than Ejigbo indigenous in Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah. So we have a sizable Nigerian community. Yeah, I've read about that some time ago. That I think there's another country. Is it the Congo or somewhere in the Central Africa where we have a large population? Yoruba-speaking people there. That they were going there. It's like just like a community.
Also like Togo.
Home away from home. Home away from home. Nigerians are dominating the whole world. Okay. Let's see if we can be joined, because it's the Super Eagles, like we said, the battle cry them around is let's do it again. Let's bring it back home. Though some of us look at it that way, because there was a time of a certain nation say footballer come back home, and then with the whole world rallied around them, and instead of the football going back home, the football went straight to Germany. Next time again, they say football is coming home, football went to Italy. So this time around, okay, we say let's do it again. We've done it before. Let's say we can be in Lagos instead of going back to Belgium. Of course, the Skipo, the former captain manager of the Super Eagles, is still with us. We'll still go back to him. But I want to see if somebody who can get our guest join us from Lagos, if he's ready. Yes, I think he is ready. So when the list came out for the team that will go, the first list that came out, before that list anyway, our midfielder, we have lack creativity in the midfield. Yeah. And then Wilfred Ndidi, who is our supreme, who was in fact in his club, they started pushing him from playing in the defensive midfield role to attacking midfield role, and then Ndidi got injured. I said, okay, fine, our strength is in our attack. We have Victor. One Victor is not enough. We have Victor. Maybe the king of African football. We have Victor they call him Boniface in Germany, the man who has lit up Germany, the breakout star who has won all the awards. So okay, fine, if we have this twin army, there is no way we won't go to war. And suddenly, before we knew it, Victor Boniface is out. That we're still talking about that one, the man who the lanky guy behind them, who there holds the ball and releases, it's almost a semblance like Sadiq Umar. Sadiq Umar also, got injured. So we're talking about replacing Sadiq, replacing Victor, and then all our hopes now is, are there more fears of any injury? And somebody said, what do we do about this? Can we do something about it? So, okay, fine. Some things are behind us, but let's see. So we are in Lagos. And we are meeting our own pastor, Femi Fashero. And he says, let us see if we can ask Baba God for something. Hello, Pastor Fashero. How are you? How are you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ken, for having me on the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, you've seen how our injuries. I mean, what do you think we should do about it? We are in Cote d'Ivoire. We are facing 23 other nations.
Yeah, well, we know that there is nothing we can achieve without the help of God. We have seen God help us to fly the flag of the country so many times in the past, where we've been in competition and we've come out tops. And it's so great to have a legend, Coach Sunday Oliseh, here on the program. These are the people that have gone out wearing the shirts of the country and made us proud, out there. And we believe that God is still with us. Yes, it's a huge concern because our strategies and our plans might have been affected, by the injuries that the team has suffered in recent times. But all the same, I want us to also understand that when we go to war or we go to battle, it is not in our own strength, it's in the strength of the Lord. The strength of the Lord is not injured. So we are sure that God will find a way to help us if we put our trust in Him. And I think the team should not be demotivated because some of their teammates are not around to help them out. Rather, they should actually be inspired to say that, we can do this. We can do all things through Christ which strengthens us. So once they look up above and do not give in to defeat, I believe that there will be inspiration within the team, and they should just go out there, give their best. That's all it is required. Give their best, and I believe, God, that they will do well. They should enjoy the moment. It's a privilege for them to be representing the country. They should enjoy the moment. They should not think about those who are not there. They should think that they are being called to serve the country at a time such as this, and they are able, they are capable. If they have been drafted in, of course, maybe because someone was injured, they should know that there is something divine about the moment for them. They should take that as a challenge and go there and give their best. And I'm sure that it's an opportunity in disguise. They should be able to seize it.
Okay, an opportunity in disguise. We are still with you. You are going to stay with us until the end of the show, so that you know. But you didn't play much football. Which sports were you? Did you actually? I know you are a pastor, but let me ask you: which sport did you excel in? Which sport did you excel in?
Yeah, I mean, at the back of me over here, I have trophies.
I've seen some trophies. Yes, sir.
For speaking, they are all trophies for me playing golf. I play golf. I'm a competitive golfer.
You swing.
I'm a competitive golfer.
You swing and you putt.
So what did
I said you swing and you putt. How many have you?
Yes, I play golf. I have my putting range even in my office over here. When I have 5 minutes, I putt some balls. I'm a competitive golfer, and I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, that one you don't get. But why do Tiger Woods? Is it your knee? Where do you normally get injuries? Is it when you swing? Where is it? Most of the time, it's like you have the golfers have problems with their knees also. Is that where the weight is when you swing, or how?
Yeah, well, it depends on if you're swinging and you're not warm enough to do that, you can affect any muscle in your body. And then if you put too much weight on your knees, some people do have gout and things like that. But all the same, it's like any other sport. If you do it right, and you follow your body posture, and you don't do things out of the ordinary, you stay fit. But if you could injure your shoulders, you could injure anywhere there is muscle if you swing the wrong way. Yes, injury do occur, and sometimes during the competition, and you may have to just adjust and just carry on and then pull through to make sure that you lift the trophy.
Okay. You think sometimes people think that thing is easy. The time I tried to do it, I was just swinging air. I don't know how I couldn't hit the ball. I don't know. I have it. It was difficult for me to swing the ball. Anyway, Pastor Femi, we'll come back to you. You just did it. Let us go back to Belgium. Let's go back to Belgium because I meet Sonny. Do you have any question for Skipper himself, for Sunday Oliseh?
Yes, I think in his own time, let me put it in my own view. I think this is the weakest group of as a team, not group of players. Okay. As a team, this is the weakest. The 84 team was never as weak as this, maybe because the concerns about the manager. So in this situation, as a former captain and coach of the national team, how can we put you?
Sonny, you had him.
Oh, well, it's a very difficult one. In fact, it's a difficult question to respond to because as a manager, normally you get to invite the players you feel will execute your philosophy or your tactics rightfully. And a country like Nigeria, in fact, we are in a very bad place at the moment because when you look all around, we have so many Nigerians excelling in world football, but they are not wearing the Super Eagles jersey. They are wearing national colors of other countries. And those are players that in the past will have done everything possible to die to be part of the Super Eagles. I mean, during our generation. Because if you look at when you have players like all these Oliseh playing there, even I've had so much power. Even if I ask me, is he your son? No, he's not. When you ask You see all the other players like the Akojis and all that. You can look at all the links that even if you look at Alaba, those are players that should have played for Nigeria, but it's not the case. How weak or good the team is, I will try to. I don't want to bore you with tactics, but let me try to explain it in this way. As a coach, it all depends on your team. Depends on what you put on them. If the team has very, very strong, talented individual players, then you make a playing style that makes their individual qualities be on show and will hide the team qualities of it while still having it on it. But if you have a team that is not so renowned like we are experiencing at the moment, you have no choice. You have to create a team football. You have to create automatism. You have to create playing schemes whereby when I'm doing this, you are doing that. When he's doing this, you are doing that. It has to be incorporated like everybody has to know it. And then you become very solid as a team. This team, you might be surprised, but this team has quality to win the title.
Wow.
They have the qualities to win the title. But the question is, how are the qualities that they have brought together to achieve that particular goal? For example, if you have the striker, if you're looking at the striker we have now, if you like an Oliseh, you have to create a playing style that puts him into running, puts him into space, puts him into finishing. And that has to be done as a team. So everything is possible.
Everything is possible. Let me come to this. Sometimes I know you don't like commenting much on policy issues, but then during the week, the president of the FA did say from now on the federation will not be employing assistant coaches. That now it is the prerogative of the managers to pick their assistants. What do you have a say in this? Do you have anything you want to say about this?
Okay. Your president just gave you a very good news. That is how it is in the world. You don't pick an assistant coach for the coach. The coach picks nobody picked your wife for you. You chose your wife.
Nobody went to Morocco for you, I know.
Nobody's going to pick your woman for you. You have to pick your woman. Because there are things that you're going to have discussed with her privately. That's how it works with an assistant coach. Assistant coach must have your back. So I think that's a very, very good decision. Honestly, it's a very good decision.
I love that. Okay, because a lot of time we look at it in Nigeria when you bring the coach from the south, the assistant must come from the east, the other must come from the conference, so that if he doesn't come from the north, let it be so that he can join, so that so we can't be marginalized. It doesn't really matter what they want to contribute to the team or not. Let's see if it is possible. We can take one or two calls while the show is on. Do you have? Of course, it's a calm down. What do you have? Do you have? You want to ask Skippo a short question?
I'm happy that he mentioned this. That is good news, because I had arguments with a lot of people about this. Why would they not? Because I don't know if you've seen it, Coach. Because we've been to some camps and you see like 5 coaches. I'm like, what are they all doing? I'm sitting in with the women's team. You have like 5, 6. I don't know what they do, because at the end of the day, they don't have a fitness coach in that consortium of coaches that they have. They don't have a video analyst. They don't have. Where do I start? Like, they don't have the basic, which we all know that usually you have your nutritionist, you have your fitness coach, you have your video analyst. They are not part, but you just have like assistant coaches, like 5.
They are representing regions. Okay.
so I'm happy you have to come in, because you also are a coach, which I think is just the best.
No, Cecilia, I think you made it. You pointed it right. You can't have people all around without knowing what they're actually doing. That's why in economics you have what they call the so-called division of labor. And so it has to be divided. And if everybody is just there as assistant coach, who are you assistant? At the end of the day, I think the national team is normally the easiest to coach, just as it's also a bit the most complicated to coach. Easiest in the point that as a national team coach, you have a lot of time to observe your players. You're not working with them, you're not seeing them on a daily basis, you're not working daily. So you have time to do a lot of other things, even video analysis. You have time to do it yourself if you are good at it. But the complicated part is that you don't get the players every day, so you can't work on them every day, like at the club side, to perfect situations. But the biggest advantage of having a national team is numbers. So if you're going to have numbers, that is in the sense that, in the sense that if you have a country like ours that's 220 million people, people believe we are more, but okay, let's leave it like that. If you have 220 million people, the numbers you have are so much for you to pick players. Be it the ones back home or the one in diaspora or abroad, you can always pick players. So you just have to get your own tactics together, your own philosophy, and now look at the players that will now play into those tactics. And the same thing applies to the assistant coaches. You have to pick an assistant coach who is doing that with you. I believe Nigeria, you should have a chief coach. You should have an assistant coach that's working with the coach. You should have a physical instructor. You should have a goalkeeper coach. That is enough for you.
Okay. Before we go back to meet Pastor Femi, so that he can, say one or two words for the players. Do you see us triumphing against Equatorial Guinea? And then before we come back next year, we would have played Cote d'Ivoire. Yes. Would I play Cote d'Ivoire?
Okay, maybe I should answer that question.
So because we have just a minute to go.
Okay, let me. Oliseh has played in 3 Nations Cup.
Yes.
He always played to the last week of the Nations Cup.
Yeah.
So, what can he offer? The advice can offer the players so that some of them are playing for the first time, so that they can get out of
they can go the distance. What do you have for the players?
Well, the greatest motivation for the players, I think, is not should be coming from the technical crew itself. But the greatest motivation you always have during our generation was our people back home. We always wanted to bring something back home. It was always, we're always thinking of landing. Boy, how you go and we land from Muritala Mohammed Airport? No. We need to come in, with shoulders up, because we can't afford to draw because we're trouble to come back. All those kind of things.
Okay.
So it's a motivation because you're serving people who adore you, and that is why I'm really, really sad now when I go back home. I was in Nigeria recently to spend time with my family, and Super Eagles had a game, and I was just at the reception, and I said to the guys, "Hey, what channel is showing the game?" And they asked me, they said, "Which game?" I said, "Super Eagles game." They all did not know Super Eagles was playing. I come from Belgium and I'm informing them the Super Eagles is playing, which was not the case back then. Okay. So that is why I feel that motivation, that needs to be brought up back again to get the players working.
All right. Thank you so much, Skippo. Let's go and take some prayers because I think we need it now. Pastor Femi, where are you? Okay, you are going to close the show for us, and then with some prayers for the national team of Nigeria.
Enjoy. We're looking forward to an exciting match today, and we believe God that our boys are going to do well. They're going to make the country proud. Despite the challenges they have, we believe God that the Lord will strengthen them to be able to go beyond even the expectation of anybody. We want to pray for them that somehow they will be able to subdue the adversaries, that they're going to be competing with. We want to trust God, that God will give them creativity even beyond what they practiced, what they were taught, that there will be inspiration on the field, on the pitch. They will see things that they couldn't have been taught. They will see spaces. They will know how to use the spaces, and there will be unity of purpose. There will be team play, and somehow they will come on top. That's our prayer for them, that the Lord will preserve them and even make sure that those guys that are there, there won't be further injuries in the name of Jesus, that they will play in such a way with understanding that they will be able to protect themselves. And surely, we are backing them up from home. We're expectant. And whatever they put out there will be good enough for us. And we can only pray that the little they do on the pitch, that the Lord will make it to count for much. And at the end of the day, give all of us as a nation, a good AFCON tournament. Thank you so much.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Femi. No more injuries in camp. That is no more injuries. And then here, I mean, probably what I'm doing, we shall invite you here, and then we'll see those your trophies, and then let's see whether you teach us how to, how to swing and how to field. Thank you so much, Pastor Femi.
Anytime.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, we are leaving.
Congratulations to Elizabeth Oshoba, the new WBC silver welterweight champion of the world, female. She had lost 2 before now, 112. But right now, she's ranked 11th in the world. I mean, it's exciting to see a female boxer doing so well right there.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing but just to win the Super Eagles a Denmark 92 experience. The
Denmark 92.
The Danes never qualified for the Euros, but they made champions.
Yes.
In respect of whatever we think about the Super
Denmark, my mind went to 98.
No, God forbid. No, those are not from Denmark. We don't agree for 98 experience. We agree for 92 experience. Yes.
Sisi, the criminal.
Okay, I'm just wishing the Super Falconets a good game today. They're actually playing against, come on, yes, it's Nations Cup, but the Falconets are in action today against Burundi away from home. So we wish them all the best. Their game is 4 p.m.
I also not wishing the Super Eagles.
Super Eagles, of course, we'll be talking about Super Eagles, but yes,
I also wish them. I wish the Falconets. This
is not about wishing the Super Eagles to win against Equatorial Guinea.
Okay.
Super Eagles are condemned to win the game tonight. That's 3 p.m.
Okay, wish them luck.
Okay, good luck, Super Eagles. No more injuries in camp. That settles it, right?
Okay. Apologies to you guys at home that we didn't open the lines. It's tight. I told you from now it will be very tight. But we'll try as much as possible. Maybe most shows we don't devote it to your calls with everybody in the house. As we go today, before I drop the pen, no more injuries in the Super Eagles camp. God bless Nigeria.